It's coffee with Andy and Tracy and Mikey. This is what being fed up and being stuck in New York looks like. Hold on, let me have my coffee. It's a little overcast.
A little?
Okay, it's really overcast. It is rainy, but everyone is starting to move. All the chat groups we're in.
Yeah, it's because these boats have got to get to the boat show.
A lot of these boats have to get to the boat show, which we'd love to go to. We don't have to be there, but we really want to go to.
Boat show or bust.
Boat show or bust 2023! Woo! Yeah, sorry. This is what being cooped up in the boat looks like for 7 days. When did Avery leave? Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been pretty much cooped up since then, and it's been raining since before he left.
We went to town one day and it was pouring rain.
It was. That was the drowned rat day. And then a couple days after that was another drowned rat day.
Into town. We live into the city.
Yeah, New York is not a town. It's a city. It is this living, breathing monstrosity that's just amazing. So in this Coffee with Andy, we're going by Thornbury Bridge. This is what? What bridge? Little Bay.
Frog's Neck.
Bridge.
Bungled it so bad I couldn't even get back to what it was.
That's what I do here. I'm here to bungle words and just talk. And we're tucking into the East River. By the time we get to Hell's Gate, we should have about 3 to 4 knots of current with us, especially with the low-level flooding they had yesterday. If you guys haven't looked,
I don't know if I can steer that fast.
sure you can. We want to hit our 15-knot
No.
thing so we can
No.
earn that badge.
No.
We earn badges. It's kind of like checking in and being the mayor of Foursquare. For doing different things, for staying on a mooring ball for a certain number of days, for staying at Hook for a certain number of days, traveling internationally. I'm working with a developer to add more badges.
Travel over twice as fast as your boat should ever really go.
So, sail logger can be used for all kinds of boats, power boats, sailboats, everything. And there's a badge for traveling 15 knots. We just have to hold it for that 1 second that it registers it. And 1 out of 60, it registers it for 1/60th of a second at the right moment. And that didn't make any sense, and I'm okay with that. She got the Stormtrooper badge. I mentioned this on another one for being out in 35 knot gusts. Now, there was not a small craft advisory at that time, and the wind was with her. I think what did you have up at the time? Did you have the jib?
I don't know when it was.
It was the day that was really windy when you were in Long Island Sound.
And I did what?
35 knots.
Oh, I took the jib down when I saw that jib.
So she just had the rigging up. The sails were all down.
I like my sails.
We like our sails. We like our boat. We like our rigging. So we're going into the East River. The East River is awesome to see the city, and it's a little overcast. It's not limited visibility like it was last time we came through the East River with this foggy haze thing right after 4th of July. That's not one bucket before.
Not as a criminal.
Hold on. We're going to cut here.
He wants to visit the prison barge. So
He
we're
wants-
discussing how he can do that not as a criminal.
He wants to visit the Rikers Island prison barge. Come on, ask the group here. Stand up here for a second.
Please be careful in your socks.
Come on. Step up. Let's go. No, you don't have to have coffee. You just have to talk to your adoring fans.
Well, I already stole a golf cart. That's on my checklist. So it is.
Stole a golf cart's on your checklist. Get inside. Get in your hole.
You're out of that state now.
We just hope the statute of limitations will run out before you go back to Maine.
Can't go back there.
That's an offline conversation. So we're going to go through the East River. It is awesome. It's beautiful. And we've got 3 bailout points for today, 3 possible anchorages. We're either going to anchor at the base of the Statue of Liberty at Liberty Island, if it looks smooth out in the harbor, because yesterday it was 9 to 16 foot seas in New York Harbor.
Well, out of the mouth of like outside.
Out of the mouth.
But I ain't going out there.
No, we could skirt down and tuck up behind Coney Island, which was our first experience in New York.
It was a good one.
It was a good one.
It just broke you right in.
It had rained so much that right as we got in, I'd never heard the National Weather Service come over the VHF and warn of a pending storm, but there was lightning strikes everywhere. We got anchored and just the bottom dropped out. It was like a dump truck dumping its whole load of water on us. And the whole little cove was this floating sea of petroleum on the surface. You could have struck a match. It could have been like when Bayonne, New Jersey's river caught on fire, or Cleveland River caught on fire. Either one.
Why is he coming out of the channel?
Who?
Now I see why he's coming out of the channel.
Oh, big
Well,
barge.
not this way, but-
Big barge tried to squash us.
No.
So there was all this diesel fuel and gasoline and tar and other petroleum byproducts floating on the surface of the water, and condoms floating by. It was awful. So we have that as our second bailout point. And if it really looks clear out in the New York Harbor, we might just go ahead and duck over to the other side, which is only about 5 miles, to get up behind the crook of Sandy Hook to wait until we're ready to make this offshore jaunt. Once we jump offshore, as long as we're in a bunch of groups, we're talking about the conditions out there, because NOAA says one thing, Wendy says another, the other apps say another thing.
I stand with Noah.
She stands with NOAA. Once we go outside, we're going to hover the shore, just like hug the shore, not hover the shore, hug the shore. We have some more coffee. I know it's about noon.
Oh my word, look at all the barges coming down this river.
They got to get the garbage out of New York somehow, don't they? And then we're going to hug the shore, and we can go into the Manasquat River. We could go up into Atlantic City, into Brigantine. We had a nice little place to hide up in there, not right out in the channel, because it just whips into that bridge. And then our last thing would be Cape May. You can dive right into there. Ultimately, we'd love to leave New York, do a 24-hour thing, go into the Delaware River right when the tide's rising, so it would help us run up that. If we time it just right, it's about 3 hours from when the tide starts going up the Delaware to where it starts pushing the way we want to go down the Chesapeake Delaware River Canal and ride that into the top of the Chesapeake. We'd love to just knock that all out and get it out of the way. There are really 4 barges.
Yeah, they all waited for the tide to come through this river.
They're pushing against the tide now
Yeah, they have to. I mean, they can't come through
with all that pushing
all
behind
that
them.
tide pushing them, yeah.
So I'm going to move this up a little bit, try to get it out of the wind, see if that's better. Oh, sorry about the wiggles. Wiggle, wiggle. There you go. There's a catamaran that just jumped in front of us. Where did the leopard go?
He's a double in front of us.
He's flying. I bet he's got 4-cylinder diesels in that thing. Where we have 2 little 3-cylinder diesels that just sip. Shout out to my friend Paul Young, who spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours yesterday trying to talk me into just jumping over the pond.
That's hilarious. Keep talking, buddy. Keep talking.
We talked about all the spares. He talked me about a open source autopilot as a backup that I can run off my servo with a linear ram motor that you just bolt on with a 12-volt power lead, and we wish your ankle or leg or whatever's broken heals quickly so you can be back out on the water, sir. Fresh Salty and Sailing Isla, we're coming for you. All of our Ragged Stragglers group, you know who you are, Zermovia, Mafalda, Lionheart, we're coming down to the Chesapeake. We want to see you guys. And if we make it to the boat show in Annapolis,
mean, if we got 14 days, we're gonna have to start paying taxes if we don't get out of here soon. We will be at the boat show.
We're going to the boat show. It's a surprise. Surprise! You guys surprised?
Surprises the hell out of me since we're supposed to be in North Carolina tomorrow.
I wouldn't be any more surprised if I woke up with my head stapled to the carpet.
Yeah.
So, J-Lo, this is a shout out to you running your Christmas vacation trivia.
To get frizzled on.
I need to see your list of questions coming up for Indio. I need to add to that. So,
What are you doing?
what's wrong?
They're dropping their sails.
Oh,
Okay, I'm going.
they're dropping their sails because they're going into the wind now. The East River is awesome. I think I mentioned that, but we got to go right by Rikers Island, which is set to close in 2 to 3 years. That the New York legislature keeps changing the date on that, but it's this big, overbearing looking prison on an island with a horrible current around it, and it's I think it's the largest penitentiary and mental asylum in continental United States. Maybe in all of the United States. And they've got an overflow barge that is just gnarly, nasty looking. We got to go by. We're passing by the New York Maritime Academy right now, which is where.
No,
No, that's not the prison barge.
it's a training ship, I guess.
Yes, it is. Okay, guys, this is the famed, fabled, whatever you want to call it, Rikers Island overflow annex barge. Doesn't this look like
It's not looking inhabited anymore.
It looks great, doesn't it?
I thought it was like where they would start checking people's health.
No, it's where they come in to be sorted. This is the famed Rikers Island behind us. And Tracy read, you hear the planes coming out of LaGuardia. That's only the third plane we've heard this morning. I think it's still shut down from the terminal flooding yesterday. You can see the planes take off right over Rikers and then just climb like crazy getting out of here. Tracy read me something yesterday, and I'm going to probably butcher this like I butcher everything else. The East River has no head and has no source. It completely flows from the ocean to Long Island Sound down to the.
I don't really understand what that meant. It's one of 2 rivers in the country that have no source.
One of 2 rivers in the country that have no source. So there you have it. A coffee with Andy factoid original. More to come. We're looking at Upper Manhattan. The UN is back over this way. Wow, that building is beautiful, isn't it? But this is housing. It's just blocks and blocks of these apartment buildings where they stack people. I don't even want to know what rent is there. Another power plant. And we're looking at Lower Manhattan coming up. We'll do some real good Ferry Frogger, and I'll show some video of that coming up. Tracy was just telling us about all these secure days we're hearing, which are announcements of what's going on the water. One of them is about a Brooklyn regatta in the mouth of the New York Harbor. The other one is
Swimmers. From June 2nd to October 29th, I think it said.
coming.
Swimmers using manned and unmanned apparatus get in the water at Manhattan, swim up the East River, up the Harlem River, and down the Hudson River.
With ferries,
Ew.
seaplanes.
God, I hope they've got plugs in their noses and earballs and ew. Like, ew. No. Do you know what lives in this stuff? No.
I know it lives in here, but I know what they flush in here too.
Ugh. No. Ew. No. There's a lot of places to swim. Just saying.
I want to show you what Ferry Frogger looks like. Got a couple of ferries coming up behind us. That ferry just whizzed by us and turning around to dock. We got a ferry over there. A ferry coming off the dock there. Another one there. There. That's actually another ferry right there crossing from Governor's Island. We just went under the Manhattan Bridge. And this is the famed Brooklyn Bridge, which one night we walked all the way from Lower Manhattan across to Brooklyn and then caught a subway back to our boat. It was a beautiful walk at night. You could see the Statue of Liberty, and I think of it as one of the longest days. We did like almost 40,000 steps a day, I think, but it was so worth it. Helicopters take off from here. There's a seaplane terminal right behind us that we didn't know about when we were going north. We're dodging all these ferries going north, you know, going forward, going back, just trying not to get squishy. And we hear on the VHF, coming in for a landing. And then at that, like 2 seconds later, this single engine seaplane comes in right above us, skims our mast, and lands right behind us. We've got Governor's Island right up in front of us behind these ferries, which is a neat place. And then the Statue of Liberty is just up and around the corner. We'll see the Staten Island ferries. There's one departs every like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from that terminal, which is neat. A neat way to see New York Harbor. Oh, look over there. We've got a cruise ship in port. More ferries. I didn't even catch this one earlier. Another one loading up here. Just past this building is a big ferry terminal. Then there's one like another half mile down. I think this one is going into this terminal I just mentioned. True to form. That ferry's backing off. There's a little water taxi, the Manhattan 2, this thing, and these ferry boats are impressive. They go up to like 35 knots at times. We can track them on AIS and they're just incredible to watch. That's coming in above the Staten Island ferry terminal. That one went down further. This one's going to come right up here. All over Lower Manhattan, which is just amazing to walk through. Oh look, I do believe this is the Governor's Island ferry, which just goes from right there straight across to that section. Oh, they're coming a little close to that marker, but that's okay. At least it's not moving. Look, more tour boats. Oh, and the tour boats swarm out on the other side of the Staten Island ferry and go around Liberty Island and then circle most of Ellis Island, which is just in front of us. There's a bridge that prevents you from circling it completely. Okay, I'm gonna close out the video with my smoking hot wife. Woo. Sunset in the distance. I'm gonna circle around here.
It's a little rolly.
A little rolly. We've got Ellis Island right here behind us. It is really rolly right here. Right there. Oop, I skipped them. There is a party barge playing Billy Joel.
New York State of Mind.
New York State of Mind.
And you got the Staten Island ferry going by.
Yep.
And Governor's Island.
I can see your finger. It's perfect.
No, the Governor.
The Governor.
And then you got Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Lower Manhattan.
Lower Manhattan. I'm going to switch sides. You switch sides. There we go. Upper Manhattan.
This is a really pretty charter boat that apparently belongs to the
owner
of the Manhattan Yacht Club, or the founder of the Manhattan Yacht Club.
Okay.
Over here, and then you've got Manhattan and the whole New York skyline.
And the Hudson River.
And the Hudson River.
Closing this one out. What a way to see New York.
Right?
How many people get to see it this way?
Not many, because
Not
it's
many.
hard to get ashore.
It is really hard to get ashore. We've loved our time in New York though, haven't we?
Yep. It's been cool. Very cool.
Gotta make dinner, rest up, because tomorrow we might be heading south, west, something.
I think you're hopeful.
I'm always hopeful. I'm an optimist. This is definition of an optimist. Right here! I leave you with a video of the New York skyline.